views and opinions of any of the guests of After Hours AM are not necessarily the views and opinions of After Hours AM, its hosts, its staff, or any of its affiliates.
Welcome to the After Hours program.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a grave announcement to make. Incredible as it may seem, both the observations of science and the evidence of our eyes lead to the inescapable assumption that those strange beings who landed in the Jersey farmlands tonight are the vanguard of an invading army from the planet Mars.
This is the latest disclosure, a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder.
Wait a minute, something's happening. Some shape is rising out of the pit. I can make out a small beam of light against a mirror.
Welcome to After Hours AM Deeper Cuts.
Cutting deep into what skews.
And welcome to After Hours AM. Tonight is the Deeper Cut edition, which means we have more meaningful and serious conversations about the paranormal, and tonight also about the metaphysical. My name is Greg Bakken, and I am joined tonight, as always, by the beautifully talented Joel Sturgis.
Oh,
hello,
shucks.
Joel.
I'm not that beautiful, but thank you. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
It's only the inside, though. That's
Yeah, it's only the
beautiful.
inside, unfortunately. The outside is ugly as all hell. But, hey, man, we got a great show on tap tonight for everybody. And, of course, Greg worked really hard to get Lorie. You happen to know her personally, and so thanks a ton, because I don't know that she does a whole lot of interviews, to be honest with you. So tonight we have Lorie Johnson on the show, and she is, of course, the psychic medium from the breakout hit. I shouldn't say breakout hit. It's been a hit for a long time on Destination America, The Ghosts of Shepherdstown. Tune in because she will be here at the bottom of the hour. And then, of course, we'll be opening up the phone lines at the top of the hour for your readings. So if you've ever wanted to have a great reading and you want to talk with Lorie, give us a call at 612-326-6874. Will be that call-in number when it is time.
So, when you're saying you're opening up the call lines, does it make like a creaking sound? Because I don't think that you've opened up the call lines for quite some time.
Oh, sometimes I open them up, you know. The call lines are always open if someone wanted to call in, if they really want to call in.
Oh, the secret's out.
We actually have an email bunch, too, that love to email the show. But when I do open the call lines, it goes a bit like this. Just like that. Only imagine a door creaking open and maybe a really old man standing behind it that smells a lot like B.O. and Old Spice.
Well, and I also kind of imagine it's actually really a can with a string at the end of it, right? I mean, that's
it
really
is.
kind of what we're talking
you
about.
got me now. You got me. No Ma Bell here. We have green giant cans with a red string behind them, and I hold it as tight as I can because we want to hear what you have to say. When you do call in, so that string is held really tight, but we don't necessarily answer back all the time, but we do our damnedest.
Yep, and that's all anyone could really hope for, to be very honest. When it comes time for us to do the call-in with the readings with Lorie and whatnot, we have a set of rules that we're going to read when we get close to that. So just keep that in mind when you call in, because it's a one-question reading, basically meaning that you have one question. You're not going to give any information to Lorie or us about what's going on in your life. We just want one question, and then she's going to do her stuff. She's going to share her gifts, and you're going to see exactly what her answer is. So I'm actually really looking forward to this because I just want to hear what people get, and I think there's going to be a lot of happy people once they call in, and they might hear something that they like. They may hear something they don't like either, Joel. It goes either way.
It really does go either way. So you have the opportunity to call in and find out for yourself, especially if you've never had a reading before. For a lot of people, it's their first time. It can be nerve-wracking. So if you are the nervous type and you don't necessarily want to call in, of course, that email is always afterhoursam@gmail.com. if you would just prefer me to ask the question on your behalf.
Absolutely. And then you can also, we also have a Facebook page. You can send a message that way also.
You can.
And if you're friends with either of us on Facebook, and if not,
Sure.
why not?
I have no friends, so I don't know what you're talking about. I have no friends on Facebook. None.
It's me. Nope, I just checked. I'm not. Never mind. You're right. You have no friends on Facebook.
I have zero. I have zero friends. No, I have some friends on Facebook. My mom likes me. Doesn't love me, but likes me.
Well, we can start a friend drive, right? Maybe the next episode is like a telethon, but it's actually get you friends on Facebook.
Kind of like Jerry's Kids, right? Like have a telethon, and I'll be like, please, for just $1 a month, you could sponsor me, please.
Won't you be Joel's friend?
Won't you be my friend? Let me come over for sleepovers and stuff. That'd be cool.
You can get a ride in his truck. And
you can get my old red or old Rusty there. Yeah. You can ride in my truck. I'll even let you stick your head out the window and everything. It'll be a good time.
Catch EVPs on a audio cassette recorder.
And why not? It's a good time. Good times had by pretty much everyone. Well, maybe not me, but everyone else. Good times. But hey, man, that's all awesome. Great news. And we got some big programming news. Aside from joking around with everybody, we are now invading the UK. We are on Paranormal Radio UK over there, and you will be hearing us every Monday, but not just one show, all 3 shows from the week, because we have 3 of them. We have this one, Deeper Cuts. We have After Hours AM Criminal Code, and then, of course, we have the original After Hours AM on Thursday night. And this Thursday, of course, we will be having the Tennessee Wraith Chasers on the show with us. And they'll be talking about their new town, their new show about the haunted towns. It'll be pretty darn cool. I haven't talked to them in a long time. And then, of course, for all you true crime aficionados, Wednesday night is we're actually having Marvin Scott on. He wrote the book As I See It, Reporter's Intrepid Journey. So you can hear what he has to say about how media has changed and the truth behind a lot of the stories and headlines that you see even today. How to decipher the truth from fiction. And that seems to be the thing of the day, right there, Greg. That just seems to be the whole thing in the nutshell. Everyone trying to figure out what's real, what's not anymore.
That's what I do every day.
I do too.
Every damn day.
I live in the land of confusion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do. So, what do you do?
I'll tell you, though, the whole idea of being over in the UK is actually a very special one for me. And basically the reason that is, we've kind of alluded to it in the past, but I am a very, very, very big fan of British television. And I don't mean the idea of, our PBS station showed Monty Python in the 70s. This is more like freakishly embedded into one of the biggest British television preservation societies in the UK, Kaleidoscope, where we look for missing British television. I do a podcast separate from this. I know it's hard to believe I do things other than this, but I do, called From the Archive, a British television podcast, and then just all sorts of stuff. And Joel, I wanted to take a moment since we're now speaking to folks in the UK, because I'm so into British television, I wanted to urge anyone in the UK whose parents had taped television programs in the 1970s or in the 60s, or have a film collection that might have some television in it. There's a lot of lost British television, and if that's the case, I would really recommend you going over to Kaleidoscope. They have a Facebook page. They also have a website. You can go to kaleidoscopepublishing.co.uk, or send us a note if you have something that you think might be worthwhile for them to take a look at. I would highly recommend, stuff like, Dad's Army, Misleading Cases, Doctor Who, all these things, Doom Watch. There's a lot of shows. Give it a shot. See if you know something. If you see something, they'd love to talk to you. And I'm going to get off my soapbox about that right now, Joel, but I'm glad I had a chance to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too. Now, where can people catch your podcast? And are you hosting it alone, or do you do it with someone else?
No, I do it myself, and what I like about it, we basically focus on archiving, like archives of British television, like basically stuff that's been found, stuff that's been lost, all the stuff from the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, all this stuff, and you can find us on a couple different places. The Kaleidoscope website, there's From the Archive podcast. You can go to iTunes and subscribe to us. And we talk to people from the BBC. We talk to people who are film collectors, people who are into shows. We just got a lot of cool things going on. So I really highly recommend, if you're into that sort of thing, please check it out. We really enjoy doing it, and we're really pleased with it.
Very cool, man. I'll have to give it a listen. I'll have to check it out. I'm not the world's biggest British television guy. But I do like some of it, like the old Doctor Who, and Downton Abbey is not old, though. But that's kind of cool to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you have anything that's old, something that is maybe obscure, it's kind of lost to time, maybe mom and dad owned a VHS or a Betamax. Heck yeah, well, maybe not Beta. I don't know anyone that has Beta anymore. How the hell would you ever play it? You're kind of running on that one.
They had Beta. They had the old Shabadan tapes that are like basically the reel-to-reel for video.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
Also if your parents recorded television onto audio tape, we would love that also, because a lot of stuff that's now missing, we've been recovering just the audio of, such as Hancock's Half Hour. For those in UK know exactly what I'm talking about.
Sure.
We would love to be able to talk with you about all that stuff, and we would make sure that all credit is where credit's due. We are really looking forward to chatting with sometime.
Very cool. Very, very cool, Greg. But kind of moving along here, away from the British television, and that is a very cool subject, don't get me wrong, and anyone that might have some laying around and wants to donate it to Greg, that'd be much appreciated. Again, you will get full credit for donating your piece of British history. And, of course, we have to actually go into the news a little bit. And there is some stuff in the news that's kind of going around. And I'm going to let Greg have the microphone, and he's going to kind of tell everyone what's going on in the news.
Well, one of the things that we wanted to talk a little bit about, because it was so big this last weekend in particular, was all the coverage for Hurricane Irma. And I don't know about you, Joel. I had relatives and friends down in Florida. A couple of them wouldn't tell me whether they evacuated or not, so I was obsessed by watching all the coverage and stuff. And one of the things that you and I had talked about is it'd be nice if we could find a way to tell people maybe how to give, donate some money and whatnot to the cause. But the problem is, at this stage, how do you know what the right place is to donate, right? Because there's a lot of different scams out there. And so we found an article that basically said how to help Hurricane Irma's victims and how to avoid scams. Now, I think we should point out that this is something that we, that anything that we talk about in this way, that we want to make sure that that maybe this is kind of a starting point to know what a scam is. Don't take this as law. Do your own research, but we wanted to give you a start. So, as Hurricane Irma roars over the Florida Keys and caused destruction in the Caribbean, here's a guide to how you can help the people it affects. First, some general guidelines. The Center for International Disaster Information, a part of the United States Agency for International Development, offers useful tips in the wake of disasters. Sending money is almost always the most efficient way to help. But then, for those who find themselves near damaged communities and want to assist in person, the National Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster, an association of disaster relief organizations, encourages people not to self-deploy. Instead, willing volunteers in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands or Florida can register to be contacted by relief workers by signing up on the association's website. The Red Cross is also helping to coordinate volunteers, and we talk about the Red Cross here in a second here. Real quickly, how to give. Think twice before you send any blankets, clothes, or toys into a disaster area. Transporting, storing, and sorting donated goods can divert resources away from more pressing work. There's someone who writes, says that they can't tell you how many times they've been in disaster situations where they've seen literally just warehouses filled with stuff that people give just sitting there, says Britt Lake, the chief program officer for Global Giving, a crowdfunding organization that connects donors with local relief organizations. So Global Giving's Irma Relief Fund is accepting donations on their website, which is globalgiving.org/projects. You can find it. It's going to be on front of their website. It vets the local organization's help fund and is well regarded by charity watchdogs. I would highly recommend, Joel, that if you're going to donate money, go and see which places you may not want to go to. I mean, that's going to be a big problem.
Yeah, exactly. Know the facts, know where your money's going, make sure it gets to where it needs to go, and above all, make sure it's not to anyone that will just take the money and run and not get it to where it needs to go at all.
And, what surprises me also is a little bit of donors can also visit the crowdsourcing website GoFundMe to give money to the Direct Impact Fund, a nonprofit that distributes money to smaller campaigns within the United States and its territories. GoFundMe also says that fraud is rare. It says it works to verify that all funds go to intended recipients, but it cannot always verify the specific claims made by individual campaigners. Once again, be careful out there. It also says, and we're going to be brief here because we want to get to paranormal and stuff, but you can also donate directly to larger organizations like UNICEF, which will pay special attention to school-age children, Oxfam America, which is preparing for Hurricane Jose as it works on Irma recovery, and the American Red Cross, which has deployed disaster responders and delivered donated blood to hard-hit areas. A series of reports by ProPublica and NPR called attention to a lack of financial transparency at the Red Cross and accused the organization of serious blunders in its responses to past disasters.
Wow. Man, that says it all right there.
Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do after the show, I'll post this article because there's a lot more to it, but I just wanted to kind of throw it out there. I personally kind of wanted people to think before they donate, like what's the best place to go to, do a little research so that you're getting the most for your dollar, helping people out. And we'll put this on the After Hours Facebook page, and people can check it out for themselves and maybe help them decide what the right place is to go for donating their money.
Mm-hmm. I agree, man. I agree. Very, very smart. Great information to have out there.
Yeah. So, we get that out of the way. I'm hoping that everybody who has relatives and friends, or if you're listening in Florida, I hope that things weren't horrible out there for anyone. I know that the winds got high. It got very destructive down the southern end, the Keys, everything else. I'm obviously, Joel, I know you're feeling the same way, that everyone is safe.
Yeah.
I hope everyone is doing well.
Yeah, we have a lot of radio colleagues that live in Florida, and they're covering it firsthand, and they all checked in to be safe, along with everyone else I know. And hopefully that's the case for everyone that you know as well, that everyone checks in is safe. And,
I think the interesting thing was that I listened almost for the entire weekend to iHeartRadio, and I picked up WFLA in Florida, which is out of Tampa. And, I mean, their coverage of everything to do with the hurricane was spectacular. And it was not this massive...
Sure. Well, I hate to interrupt you, and I really do, but we do have a caller that kind of came on in. Can we help you, caller?
Oh, hi. Yes, my name's Kim.
Hi, Kim. What can we do for you?
Good. Actually, I'm actually calling in. I'm a huge fan of Lorie Johnson.
Oh, gosh. She's coming on. No. Are you tuning in right now? Do you have us up on radio?
No, actually, I don't. I wish I did. I'm calling from Kent Island, Maryland.
What I want you to do,
Maryland.
This is what I'm going to have you do so you don't miss anything to do with Lorie, because you're a huge fan. I get that.
I actually am.
I don't want you to miss your chance with a reading for her. And this goes for everyone that might be going, well, where the heck do we listen? We're also, aside from iHeartRadio, but what I want you to do is I want you to go to JSTURG, it's my name, Joel, JSTURGIS, radio.com.
Okay.
And hit the play button that's right there. And that'll give you the quickest, most direct relay to our server. So you'll beat everybody else when they call in, you see. So there's always a little bit of delay with everything else.
Okay.
That, there is no delay.
Okay, well, I will give that a shot, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem. Hey, call back in when you're ready, and then Lorie will be happy to speak with you. And thank you so much for calling and listening, and thanks again for being a fan.
Thank you. Take care.
Yep. Well, that was awfully nice. That was, again, you can go for the most direct, quickest server interchange would be at JSTURG Sturgis, STURGIS, radio.com, because that's a direct link right to our server. That's part of our server. Go ahead, sir. I hate to interrupt you.
Not a problem. So real fast, I was actually going to switch up articles here, and now I'm going to go back to what I originally was going to do, because my other article is messing up for some reason. I wanted to read an article that is somebody else's opinion. We just wanted to read it because it's been hitting the media. It's been been swapped around all over the place this week. It's the views of this article is not necessarily the views of myself or Joel. I want to set that up right now to start with, right?
Sure. No, I totally agree. It's not our views, and this particular article is brought to us by TV Overmind, by the way, is the actual author of this article. So if you want to yell at someone, yell at them.
Right. And so Nat Berman writes an article, and his headline is Zach Bagans just a big old fraud? And it's been, I've been seeing this article everywhere, and I think this is more of like what we would call an opinion piece, Joel, in the sense that we're curious to know what your opinion is, everyone who's listening, because we're curious about what you think about Zach. We're curious what you think about paranormal television overall. But I'm going to read this real fast, Joel. Zach Bagans is one of the numerous paranormal investigators who can be found on the TV screen. His main TV show is something called Ghost Adventures, though like a lot of his counterparts, he has shown up in a number of TV shows based on the same theme. Primarily, Bagans stands out in that he adopts a more aggressive approach than most of his counterparts, which makes for similar but not quite the same sort of viewing experience. So, first of all, the sub-headline is Zach Bagans a fraud? And it goes on to say, in its own opinion, unsurprisingly, Ghost Adventures is fake. We know this is because one of the main contributors to the earliest seasons, Aaron Goodwin, who's still with the show, stated as much. First, he said that the producers would manipulate their recordings from time to time, which is rather revealing for something that is supposed to be focused on finding the truth. Second, he said that producers would coach the cast on their reactions in the scenes shown on the TV show, which extended to the reshooting of entire scenes. When the results were less than satisfactory, the showrunners' responses was to boot Goodwin from Ghost Adventures, which was understandable but nonetheless cause for skepticism. Well, here's the problem with this article, which actually was released just last week, September 6th, I believe this one was out there, is that Goodwin was never booted from the show. And I thought that I actually read that I've read all this stuff before, Joel, but I actually thought I read that this was all debunked, that this interview with Aaron Goodwin actually never took place, and he never said any of that stuff.
Well, back in the day, a site called Empire News, which is known to be a fake site, ran the Goodwin story 2 or 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And, of course, this individual grabbed that. This is what I'm thinking anyway. This is all I can surmise. They grabbed that particular article, not understanding that it's a satire site and that it's not real news, and ran with it and tried to make it into real news, or at least in his own mind, the author's mind, it is real news, but indeed it is fake news done tongue-in-cheek in one of the many, many satire sites that are out there.
Sure. And you know what I find very interesting about people's reaction to Zach Bagans is that I don't think that you get too many people who are in the center, he's all right, he's good. Either people are like, this guy is awesome, cool, we love what he's doing. Others who don't feel that same way. And, I guess that's the kind of the interesting part of this whole thing is like, where do people where do people land on this? Because I think you can't have this discussion about people on other paranormal shows, because Zach, in my opinion at least, has kind of defined a generation of paranormal investigators, or if they want to call themselves that, and that I think too many people have kind of taken his lead and molded their own way of investigating as based on how he does it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And one thing I've always said since the beginning, because I've been doing the show seems forever, over a decade now, and I do have to say that one thing that these shows all need to be, people need to understand about these shows, they're entertainment first and foremost. They were never meant to be a training guide. They were meant to be entertainment. Even if there is some liberties taken with the show, and no time does the show say this is absolutely legitimate. You got to make sure that there is no disclaimer. In fact, I'd love it if they would have shows out there that said entertainment purposes only in the beginning. But because so many people now, this is why it's so polarized in my opinion, is so many people now either love them or hate them, okay, which is, we already know that. But so many people have taken these shows, all of them, not just this show, but all of them, and turned them into paranormal investigation guides, the how-to of the paranormal, which they were never meant to be that. They were meant to be interesting, thought-provoking, entertaining, but never were they ever supposed to be an actual educational class of this is what you do. And so I think that's where some of the confusion and some of the nervousness for a lot of people come in, because they don't want to think of their idol as faking anything. And I'm not saying he's faking a thing. All I'm saying is all the shows, if you were to talk to them individually, which you and I have over the years, they echo that same thing. It's a TV show. If you want to learn, get a good mentor and pick up a book. There's great books out there that would give you more insight to the nuts and bolts of this.
Right. And, the thing, too, is that there's obviously, I love the gadgets and whatnot, but there's so much more than to the stuff that you see in the TV shows about how to investigate and whatnot. And to your point, you're getting the books, you're getting the theory. And the theory is very important, because there's more to it than as much as I love it, the flashlights or the spirit box or anything else. And I just feel like that you're right. I think that too many people have taken the shows as gospel, and especially something like Ghost Adventures, and that I think Ghost Adventures or really any paranormal show can be a good start, like to pique one's interest. But really, if you really are into it, how do you want to advance the field in spirit communication? That would be what I would be interested in.
When I first started, it was names like Holzer and Taft, and it was people Auerbach. It was people that were in more of academic settings, writing books, and really, because most of them, I know Lloyd and Barry, they both ran at some point or another parapsychology departments at colleges. And so, of course, that's what I kind of grew up reading. And so none of the shows were around at that point, and nothing with flashing lights. All you really had was a recorder and a camera. But that being said, it's come a long way. It really has come a long way. It's very, very cool it's come as far as it has. But it's also that double-edged sword that we have going on. So...
It is, and if you're going into being a paranormal investigator for fame, then I would really
get in line.
Ask you reconsider it.
Get in line, guys.
Oh yeah, right.
Get in line. So, it's very interesting that people want to be famous and they want to be somebody in this field, but are they doing it? I guess what always hits me right away is, what's your reason behind it?
Exactly.
Is it to further the field, or is it to further your own notoriety? Where do you sit on that? And man, we're already getting bombarded with calls. Now, if you are listening, and you should be, of course, if you're calling in, we will not be opening the phone lines till 8 p.m. my time, 9 p.m. Eastern. So 8 Central, 9 Eastern. And so that is when we will be actually opening up the call lines with Lorie. Will not be to the top of the hour. So that being said, we're going to run a break. We're going to get Lorie in here. And we're going to speak with her for the first half hour, kind of find out more about her. I've never had the opportunity to speak with her before. I'm brand new. So it will be very, very interesting, just as much as it could be for you people that have never heard her speak before either, because I'm not aware that she does a ton of interviews. So we come back, the incomparable Lorie Johnson. Don't go anywhere. Greg, man, why don't you go ahead and get us out of here?
We're going to be right back with more After Hours AM Deeper Cuts after these wonderful words.
You're listening to After Hours AM Deeper Cuts.
Cutting deep into what skews.
Hi, Tom Bodette. If pop culture is to be believed, roughly 40% of all people are actually vampires, or dating one. Well, undead or not, you can always save on a clean, comfortable room at Motel 6, even if you sleep during the day because direct sunlight turns you into a pile of sparkly coffee grounds. Speaking of which, we have free coffee every morning. You day sleepers may want to go for the decaf. I'm Tom Bodette, and we'll leave the light on for you. Book online at motel6.com.
Hi, I'm Kip Parker. And I'm Charlie Parker. And we're the Parker Brothers. Hey, Charlie, what's missing from our game catalog? I don't know, Kip. Tell me. Well, you can't talk to the dead. You sure as hell can. That's why we got this brand new game called Ouija. Ouija? Why? Break that down for me. Well, it's Wii because you're having a great time, and G, it's because G, aren't you having a blast because you're having a good time with the Wii. It looks like it smelled like a Chinaman got caught in there. Don't question it. Well, Ouija, Kip, tell me about it. Well, inside the package comes a flat board with all the letters of the alphabet, numbers from 0 to 9, and a yes-no written out by itself. Well, that sounds like a lot of stuff going on. It's got a lot of stuff going on indeed, Charlie. It also comes with this planchette which hovers over the letters the dead are trying to tell you. Well, how does that work, Chip? Well, you ask the question, and then the dead move your hands in the direction of the answers. That sounds like a heck of a way to find Grandpa's slave money. Turns out it was in the attic. But the questions don't have to be as serious as slavery. You can also find out if Sally's got a crush on you. The dead like to answer all sorts of trivial questions. Feels like they'd have better things to do with their time, Kip. No, lost souls are lost forever, and they're really glad to help. Well, gee, Kip, can't you just get any sort of board with numbers and letters and talk to the dead? The dead prefer quality like anybody else. Quality you can only find at Parker & Parker.
The Ouija board, brought to you by the Parker Brothers, available in both white and colored wallworks. Separate but equal savings.
Author Steve Asher brings us Hauntings of Trilogy. Steve's first book, Hauntings of the Kentucky State Penitentiary. This first installment of the trilogy tells us the tale of the Kentucky State Penitentiary and why it's so haunted. With every turn of the page will be something new and terrifying. Pick up Steve's new book, Hauntings of the Kentucky State Penitentiary, at Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and all better bookstores everywhere.
Taking a family of 5 to the amusement park can cost a small fortune.
Oh, yeah. So to save some money, we thought, hey, let's bring the amusement park to us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, step right up, young man. Are you ready to ride the Wacky Waterfall?
That's just the bathtub with the shower head running.
Nope, it's the Wacky Waterfall.
It's the shower, Dad.
Waterfall.
Wacky.
There's an easier way to save. To get a free rate quote, go to Geico.com. Then buy online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
You're dead! That's how you die! I was faking. I used ninja focus to slow my heart rate down. What are you doing? I'm burying you. I'm alive! I'm alive! You're waking the neighbors! No. Shut up! No! Now I'm gonna play your drum set.
Welcome to After Hours AM Deeper Cuts.
Cutting deep into what skews.
You got a huge audience.
Yeah, we do. Hey, Greg, go ahead. Lead us on in, sir.
All right, and welcome back to After Hours AM Deeper Cuts. My name is Greg Bakken, and I am with Joel Sturgis, as always. And I am super excited because I've been wanting to talk with Lorie Johnson again for some time. Her and I I interviewed her before on a previous radio show on a network. I forget where I was, but we had talked, and one of the things that I wanted to be able to do, Lorie, was be able to do calls with readings, and we're going to do that in about a half an hour, but we failed miserably at that last time. Not we, I did, because we didn't have the technology to do it correctly. So we're going to make it up tonight. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, and here's a proper introduction for Lorie Johnson. Lorie is a master evidential psychic medium, a shaman, a medical intuitive, animal communicator, and if you follow this stuff at all, you are going to be watching her on Destination America's Ghost of Shepherdstown, which just finished this year, its second season, which was pretty awesome. And I remember, Lorie, the last time that we talked, it was still unknown if there was going to be a second season. So this is pretty exciting. I know.
Yeah, it is exciting. I'm hoping everybody out there that does watch Destination America, TLC, go out and get on their nerves. Let's get season 3 in.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. We've had, we've had them all on. You're the only one yet that we have not had on for Shepherdstown. We've had Nick on, we've had Elizabeth on, we've had Bill on several times. And, man, I was really excited when Greg talked to me about the show. I've never had an opportunity to speak with you before, so I'm pleased to make your acquaintance.
That's my honor as well. Thank you.
So we're going, like we mentioned, in about probably 24 minutes. I'm going to be very accurate tonight. In about 24 minutes, we will be starting taking. I can tell time. We're going to start take calls for the readings. We're going to go through how we need these callers to call in, what the guidelines are, and whatnot. But I wanted, and Joel wanted, to take the first half an hour, just talk about what's going on with you and all the amazing gifts that you have. And quite frankly, I don't know where to start, but I'm going to be very selfish, and I want to talk about animal communication because I have 2 cats, and you have
actually more than that. You have a few more that's coming in spirit-wise. One that was hit by a truck, and another one, I think it drowned. You were young. I think about 7 or 9 years old. So you still have animals on the other side that still follow you.
And he
owned?
You
also have a dog. So, yeah, I do hear them. A lot of people have a bunch of superstitious or a limitation on the expanding on souls. Well, animals have souls. They're just less communicative. They can't communicate like us humans, or, their brains are a lot smaller than ours as well.
Yeah, and I certainly know. I mean, there's a cat that had passed away about 5 years ago. That was a part of my life, Dave, and I always feel him around me. He was a wonderful
let me
soul.
ask. Okay, so let me ask you: was he a tiger stripe with a white tip to his tail? Because that's what you have right now.
No, it was. Can I tell you what I had?
No, I want them to come forward. But that's the thing that with me, there are so many. I call them street readers. It's not nice to call them fake, but there are a lot of street readers out there that can just take 1 inch of information you give them and run with it. So be very careful. If the cat's going to come forward, actually, you just got a cat on your forehead. It's standing on your head. And it looks like a calico cat. It's a crazy cat.
Wow.
It's standing on your head? Wow, man.
Yeah, it wants to sleep and lay on his head. So basically the cat thinks that it's ready to go to bed.
Here's the thing. Greg has a beautiful mane of hair, and that does not surprise me a cat would want a bed there. Heck, I want to snuggle up there a couple times.
It's not true, but unfortunately, Joel's just jealous because I have hair of any kind.
That is true.
So.
That is true. But so now...
It is. If you have hair and you don't have hair, you got more room for the brain.
So now, just to be clear, these cats that you are picking up, Greg owned or his family owned at one time or another?
Say it again.
No, the animals that you were picking up in Greg's mini reading about the animal communication, did him or his family at one point own these cats? Are these known to him, or are they just newcomers that just draw to him?
Well, it could be also with you. I see a lot of dogs. What I do is I like calling myself a freak of nature. I don't like limiting myself with particular names for gifts.
Yeah.
I like knowing that whoever comes in my path, whatever gift means, it's brought forward. Yeah. I read energy, and I only seek the truth. So whatever comes forward, I am a mentor as well. I try to teach the people that come to me, don't tell me anything, because I'll hang up on you, not to be rude. We'll reschedule, but I will hang up on you, because there's so many people out there that are fooling other people off of, my mom passed away, and I would really like to hear from her. Not to be rude, but it could be on the other side. I was raised with manners. I was raised in Texas. I was born in Maryland. And the thing is that, men allow women come forward. So if your dad passed away, but your grandmother did too, he'll allow her to come forward first, and then I'll tell you what they look like. I do not want to do names, because then I start living their life to tell the story about them. Because they still, even when we pass, we still have memories, our life.
Sure, that makes perfect sense.
There is no body, so they cannot eat, but they still love to have parties and cookouts, and they hang out because they can still smell. If you're, there's, okay, let me see. The guy beside you on the, who's the one on the left? Because I can see you guys. So there's one on one side and one on the other. So the one that was just talking with the deeper voice with no hair.
Well, that would be me, and actually he is, just to let you know geographically where he's at, he is in Minneapolis, St. Paul. I'm in the Duluth, Minnesota area. So there's about 4 hours separating us. But I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. You vision us together. Who would be on my left, you're asking? Or who was on the left?
Yeah, so he would be behind you. So he could be a state behind or up, or you're in a state above him. So it doesn't matter. There is no such thing as walls with me. Sure. Even though he's not with you, he's still behind you or above you or beside you. So he could be the state beside you. You know what I'm saying? It's very weird with me. I mean, I can smell with the one with the hair. I can see. Let's see. I see a lot of water. I see mountains. I see. Let's see. You have a lot of grass missing in your yard, by the way. Like bald spots in your yard, from the window beside you, in front of you on the right. Is there a window in front and the right of you?
There is a window in the front and the right of me. Yes.
Okay. So you see what I'm saying? I read energy. I can see all of it. So there is no such thing as separation, but there is a separation with you two. But he's still behind you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm behind you all the way, man. All the way. No, but what you say, though, about just touching on really, really quickly, now on the show, like I said, we've been doing the show forever, and we've had everyone from John Edward to you name it on. And for you to come on and really say flat out, there's street readers out there, because we had one on, and I won't say her name. She had a show once, or still does, and that was a complete street read. And I liked to give you some kudos coming on right away and differentiating between the two. I thought that was huge for the audience, and me.
Well, thank you,
and me as well. Because
I'm sorry. I was just going to ask. Do you find that hard? Or do you find the people who are calling you or trying to get readings from you? Do you find them struggling with that sort of parameter? Because I think people come in to a reading with a preconceived idea of what they want to get out of it, and you strip that away from them. Do they find that or struggle with that at all?
Well, I'm going to start it with my gifts. My number one gift that I love is my shamanism and my medical intuitive. If I feel sadness from them, or if I see any kind of an ailment, even though you might not. Oh, I just went to the doctors yesterday and they didn't see it. But if I see it, I'm going to point it out. Mm-hmm. Then the person would come and. I had a lady come, last Sunday, and when I actually forgot about my appointment, and it was a healing appointment. It was a reading with a healing insight. And when I was getting decked up for the bike, riding a motorcycle and everything, and I'm getting ready to walk out the door. And forgive me the way I say it, but this woman looked like walking death.
Oh, not good.
Well, listen to me. Everything has an explanation. When she goes, hi, and I said, hello, and I knew she was alive, but I seen the walk, because I do see death, but this is not the death that I'm talking about. So anyway, and I introduced her. I said, I'm Psychic Medium Lorie Johnson. How do you do? And she goes, hi, how do you do? And I'm not going to say her name. And she says, I'm your 12:30 appointment. I said, you know what? I forgot all about it, but I see why. Because to me, I see death, and I'm not God. I'm not a saint. I'm not innocent. But if I can see to the future wise to help you survive your life to a better, healthier way, sure. I'm going to get that, and I'm going to pull it forward and say, look, I see some really bad sickness coming. Please go get yourself checked. I've done this many times. I've got a group. It's the love of those who are gone or still here. I started that almost like 15 years ago. And what happened was I never had anyone say, hey, Lorie, you're psychic, you're gifted, you're whatever. My mom's gifted. She denies it. She still denies it at 74. My father passed away in 06. He's a shaman. His father was a shaman. The thing is, I started this group and I started smelling, what would you call it, like burning flesh. And then all of a sudden I started seeing with the visions of this particular person through another person that came and asked about her nephew. And this story stays with me forever. She comes to me, she says, Lorie, I just lost my nephew. And I said, okay, hold up, don't tell me anymore. And I told her what he looked like, who came forward. She said, yes. And all the proof is on this, in this group. And I said, may I ask you a question, because he keeps pointing and saying, Mom, Mom, Mom. I said, I know you're not his mother, but do you have a sister? And I told her what she looked like, and she goes, yes. I said, do you mind me looking at your sister, because he's given me heads up on this, and I'm getting an alert with her. And she says, yeah, please go ahead. And I told her what she looked like, and I said, do you mind me looking and seeing medically about her? And she goes, sure. I said, on my left, her right side, there is a spot, and it's gray. And gray is the beginning of cancer to me. And I started smelling it. I said, can you do me a favor and have your sister checked? Your nephew loves you for bringing him forward, but he's worried about his mom. And she says, most definitely we'll have her. 6 months later, it's written on my group, Lord, you saved my sister's life. We took my sister within a week or two, and they found it, and she's been going through chemo, and you saved my sister's life. And that's an overwhelming to know that I do believe in God. I believe in Christ. I've seen Christ. He has blue eyes, not brown eyes. I have no religion, because religion to me separates you from me. I don't put down no one. I mean, I've been a Sunday school teacher. I've been to church all my life.
Sure.
I have no religion, because it separates you from me. And to me, we're all created as one. Even though we're individuals and we all have separate lives, we're still as one.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, and not to get into a theological discussion, because that's not what we're trying to do here, but I find that a very interesting point, and I agree with it. I mean, religion is a man-made concept to some degree, right? Whereas what you're saying about Jesus and God, those are creative pieces that exist, but the religion becomes more man-made structure.
Most definitely, and that's what I was told. I knew every verse in the King James Version, and the thing is the more I was awakening, the more I prayed to the Lord. And I'm not saying I'm a Bible basher. I'm not a Bible basher. To each his own. I don't need to go to a church to worship my God.
Right.
God says to honor me in thy temple. It's not a house. It's your body. Mm-hmm. Christ did not have a church. And to each his own. I'm not here to judge anyone. Truthfully, it's none of my business. I don't care. Not to be rude or anything, but I'm very blunt. So, the thing is that to me, you're still my brother or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. We're all created. Now, do I believe that there's other beings out there? Of course there is. I was told that, or shown, out of body shown, that, we're created by God, but this world was created by aliens. And call me a nut, I don't care. I'm a redhead with green eyes. I can take it, trust me.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
I've seen blue coats. I've seen green coats, and they're actually aliens. They're blue coats, and they're like an ashy dark blue. And then I've seen the green ones, and I've seen them as human beings walking around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I should be on the third floor in a hospital hugging myself with the crap that I've gone through in my entire life.
Well, you're not alone though in thinking that aliens had a hand at least in creating this world. I mean, there's a whole genre that a good friend of ours wrote, and that's of course Eric von Däniken. He wrote "Chariots of the Gods," and of course that was the beginning of opening people's eyes to there's a lot of evidence out here that there were ancient aliens that did help things along. So you're not the only one. You're not out there in left field.
Egypt, I mean, you have the temples, you have Buddhism, where do you think all this began? I mean, seriously.
Sure.
Half the things that are written in the Bible, I was told that it's a bunch of mischief, ignorance to create, govern, and kings, and separation, and money, taxes.
Sure.
It's creating the world that they wanted. So do I believe that a lot of those words in the Bible exist and are true? Absolutely they do. Absolutely. But do they all? Absolutely do not. And I'll stick by my word until the day I die, and even after that.
Well, and I think it's a very interesting discussion about the idea of aliens being, and along with what we call aliens because they're not from Earth, and a connective tissue of the entire universe. But my question is, do you have any idea why they're not able to just walk around with us and all of us interact with each other? I mean, why they don't really integrate?
But I do believe that they do interact, and I do believe that they are what we would call spirit shapeshifters, but they are shapeshifters, just like Bigfoot. There is a Bigfoot, but I was shown that if I fixate myself on a particular thing that somebody comes and says, Lorie, do you believe in the Bigfoot? Do you think that there's Bigfoot out there? Most definitely. Where do they hide? They're in the gray parts of the mountains. They love it. Figure out where all the sightings are and look and see if there's a gray mountain there. That's they what do you call it? They fade into the mountain where you cannot see them. This is the reason why they're so hairy.
Like camouflage?
Absolutely, the camouflaging. Most definitely. Can they lay in? You've got to remember, we are part mammal and human. So, we wouldn't be able to have fish and then have us walking on on the grounds, dry grounds, and the fish can't breathe just like them. They can breathe under the water. Now, the Loch Ness Monster, I don't believe what is exactly what that is. I mean, my sight on everything is so in depth. It's like, wow, where did you get all this crap from? Even after the fact I talk, and most of the time I'm channeled through with the higher beings that I deal with, the 7 higher powers. I'm looking at, where did all this come from? Why am I saying this? Why do I know this?
Sure. Yeah, no, I totally makes sense. Now, I'm a bit of a Bigfoot guy, and I've been out in the woods looking for Bigfoot, and what you say makes a lot of sense to me, but pretty much every state in the union has had a Bigfoot sighting with no mountains around. How would they must be excellent camouflaging themselves in any environment to be able to elude people.
Most definitely. And you also have to remember that a lot of places that have been, they've been seen, what's underneath those waters? Is there water everywhere these Bigfoot have ever been sighted? Seriously, think about it.
Yeah, so what you're saying, just so I can wrap my mind around it, because we've had a lot of cryptozoologists on the show, that they are amphibious Bigfoot. They can actually live underwater as well as be above the earth. That makes a lot of sense. It really does.
Absolutely.
It makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Do you think that their mind is more evolved than humans? I mean, in the sense.
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
Now, are they more animal instinct as far as the wolf, as far as a deer? It can hear a footstep, and you're not even stepping, but you just moved your foot. It can hear it. It's the exact same thing. It has
Sure.
these high-pitched, I guess you would call huge ears and with the eardrums, and they can hear anything. They smell. There's a difference of a smell. They're very alert. Now, on that wise, animalism, yeah, I believe that they're smarter to the point of the instinct of an animal. Yes, I do.
But they are our missing link. They are the space between. Am I correct?
Explain that.
The space between, basically the missing link between us and the chimpanzees. They are that missing evolutionary link. The Bigfoot.
I don't think that they're monkey. I believe they're more sounds weird, but more dinosaurs than a monkey, if that makes sense.
Gigantic Pithecus would come to mind then, that lived during the time of the woolly mammoth.
Yeah. See, the thing is with a lot of, and I say humans and then animals, but a lot of humans, they fixate on one particular thing. Oh my God, this thing is a monkey. It's got hair all over it. It's got to be a monkey. Absolutely not.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. No. I completely agree with you. You got to think out of the box a little bit further than where we have been thinking in that department of cryptozoology, to understand that maybe Bigfoot is more than what we see. It very well could be, its sum is more than its parts when it comes to what it can and cannot do. Yeah, I don't believe it's as intelligent as some people want to say. I do believe it has a lower brain. Just like you had said, that would make them excellent at
they're slick. They're not smart. They're not a book smart. They're just very animal instinct, very smart.
Yep, they are masters of their own environment, is what they are.
Absolutely. How would if you 1 minute see one and you have this picture of this mammoth looking man, and then all of a sudden there is no sight of any? Where is he at?
Well, I've been told it's aliens, but that's just what I've been told.
I don't believe
them up.
I don't believe that.
I
don't believe that. I don't think they're aliens. I do believe that they are some type of a dinosaur. This thing. How would you say it? They're in the family of the dinosaur.
Yeah, the gigantic Pithecus is what that is. It's the ancient ape that lived alongside the woolly mammoth and other dinosaur type in that era. They come.
But you're still calling it an ape. I don't believe it was ever monkey.
No, I'm sure they don't know exactly what a gigantic Pithecus was, to be honest with you, other than that it resembled an ape, but that's about right where it stops.
Exactly.
Is the we don't know. We don't know exactly what they were because we weren't around, and that's still just theory that's what it was. It could be a completely different species altogether that we have never seen.
Exactly.
So I'm open to that as well. Hey, whatever happens. I do believe you're correct that they are extremely adept at hiding, and that they are they're better woodsmen than we could ever want to be.
Oh, well, definitely.
They would have to be, right? I mean, to be able to have survived this long and been able to be so deep into the woods and stuff. Yeah.
Sure. No, we were just at a Bigfoot festival, and some people claim they saw a Bigfoot.
They're very slick. I think they're slick as a snake, because the snake can hide, and then fade itself into, being part of a tree. So to me, I believe that they're more. I don't want to say, there's night goggles where you can see at nighttime, but you're probably better off at night to find it with those type of goggles.
Yeah.
To the point of finding, and you're looking evened up in the eyesight. You need to look down or up.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember how tall is this thing? Everybody's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I just saw a leap. What was that leap?
Well,
you've got to look up. They're fast. They're quick.
Exactly, Lorie. I agree with you. And, we only have about a minute and a half before we go to break. And I understand that you have ground rules for doing readings. And I'd appreciate if you tell the audience the ground rules that they should call in, what those are.
Okay. I'm not sure if you have also a chat room. I can still see that person. What I do is I read the energy off that particular person. Just ask the question. I don't want to know a name. How do you do? If they're directing it on love life, whatever, I'd like to know about my love life, or just don't give any information out.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom passed away, or my dad passed away, or something like that. I mean, you can just talk and I can give you the reading right off the bat.
All right,
You know what
sounds good. And sounds great. Again, the number before we go to break is 612-326-6874. Again, it's 612-326-6874. If you want to have your very own reading, of course, a lot of you will catch us on delay over in the UK. We apologize for that. But, email in your questions as well at afterhoursam@gmail.com if you'd really rather go that route instead of have me ask rather than yourself asking. So either way, you are covered. So, Greg, why don't you go ahead and pop this keg open and we'll run the break.
Yeah, we're going to be right back. And when we come back, we are going to be able to have those wonderful call-ins for readings from Lorie Johnson. We're going to talk a little bit more about Ghosts of Shepherdstown and all the other gifts that she has. We're going to have a great hour for hour 2. We're going to be back just in a little bit.
You're listening to After Hours AM Deeper Cuts.
Cutting deep into what skews.
It's your ideas, work, and creativity that make it your yard. At ACE, we're here to help with hoses and sprinklers to nurture growth, gardening tools for the shape of good things to come, even the right fertilizer and bug killers to make the grass a little greener. You'll find it all now at ACE, your place, with everything you need for your yard, plus helpful advice, almost like we're right there. ACE,
the helpful place.
This is Jen McGowan, founder of Wayward Souls Promotions, a company dedicated to helping individuals, teams, radio shows, and others that are seeking exposure for their individual events, conventions, and shows. We offer a wide variety of advertising, such as web-based article, social media posts, podcast advertisement, and so on. Contact us at paranormalpromotion@gmail.com, visit us on Facebook at Wayward Souls Promotions, and visit our website at www.waywardsoulspromotions.com.
You're listening to After Hours AM Deeper Cuts.
Cutting deep into what skews.
And welcome back to After Hours AM Deeper Cuts. We are going to really do something very cool here. And once again, we are asking people to call in who would like to get a one-question reading from Lorie Johnson. She is a tremendously talented psychic medium, as well as many other things. You probably have watched her on Destination America's Ghosts of Shepherdstown. And now she is going to be available to take calls and do readings. The call-in number for this is 612-326-6874. Once again, if you're calling in, keep in mind, if you're gonna, you can either write an email or you can call in, and we definitely would love to hear from you. Keep it to one question, and do not give Lorie or any of us any information like, oh, my mom passed, or I was hoping about this, and stuff like that. Lorie, we don't want to feed her any information. So if we have calls, let's go with it, Joel.
All right, our first caller right now, rather shoot. Caller, who are you, and what question do you have?
Oh, hi, my name's Kim, and I just have a question about an uneasiness I have in my house upstairs.
Okay, hold on. Let me, I can remote review. It means that I can come to your place. I'm actually standing in front of you. I see a lot of browns and wood. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, hold on, please. All right. You're shaking a little bit, honey. You need to calm down and drink a little bit of water.
I know.
You're a little, it's an older male. He's, I want to say about 77 to 67. He's got salt and pepper color hair. He's balding up at the top. He died with a heart attack, but breathing issues, and he keeps yanking at his liver as well. Do you know who this male is?
No, I don't. I might know the previous owner.
Okay, hold on, honey. Hold on.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Let me, I'm actually standing in front of him. You do have an upstairs?
Yes.
Okay, so if I'm going up the step, I'm actually at the second, let's see, 1, 2, 3, the third step from the top, and on the right is there a linen closet there, and then there's a bathroom, and then there's a bedroom all the way at the end, correct?
Yes.
Okay, he's coming in and out of your bathroom. Have you ever had any paranormal group that comes in and have it checked?
I have any what again? I'm sorry.
Have you ever had a paranormal group come in and just do an investigation?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No.
I don't want. Okay, do me a favor, honey, because everything that you're doing and feeling and living, I'm living it. I feel the anxious about you, and you don't need to be scared. He's not there to hurt you.
Okay.
He's looking. Looking for his. He's looking for his daughter. Do you know his daughter?
Oh. No, I don't.
Okay. That's the only. Just give me a minute. I'm going to talk to him and tell him that she's not there and that you're living in the home now. It's your home. He says, I don't care, and he likes to play with the commode. Is your commode running all the time?
A little bit, not really, but a little bit.
Okay, there's no such thing as a little bit, honey, because when the toilet runs, it's running. So it's
no, it's not. Well, no, it's not. It's not. No.
Okay.
I mean, it's not all the time.
Okay, but listen to me. What he's doing is he doesn't like that somebody remodeled his home, and he wants to know why his daughter's not living in there. And I feel that they sold it because he was in a home for a little while. Is that correct? Do you know anything about him?
He was the original owner of the house, and I understand that he did pass away here in the house. And we just had a tornado hit our house back in July. So that everything has been redone. We just had our roof done, and we have in our house holes in the ceilings in 2 of the bedrooms because of the tornado right now.
Okay.
And we were having it redone.
Okay, so he's told me that he's been there 4, so that's got to be 4 days, 4 months, 4 weeks. How long have you felt him there? Has it been since the tornado? Because he's pissed off.
No,
excuse the pun, but he's pissed off that somebody remodeled his home. Just let him know that you're not destroying his home. You're just beautifying it because it was bad weather.
Huh.
And I actually have spoken out in the house before because I thought that. Because I've been feeling this for 7 years since we bought the house. I've been feeling an uneasiness, especially in my closet in the master bedroom.
Okay, I see the master bedroom, but I also see if you turn around and look. I don't know if you're up. Let me see if you're downstairs, correct? Almost in the middle of the house.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. If you turn around towards the front of the house and on the right side, down the hill, there's a graveyard. Yes or no, please?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. There you go. So the thing is that with the tornado, it actually is. You've got to look at everything as energy. So what it's doing is it's turmoil in it, and you are sensitive in house, honey. You are sensitive, and I know you are because everything that you're living, I live to tell the story. You like falling asleep in the chair in the corner of the house. It looks like the living room where the little small TV is. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I can't sleep. There's a lot of anxiety in the bedroom for my husband and I. We have a very hard time sleeping upstairs. My husband's constantly coming down to watch TV. He can't sleep.
If a tornado hit my house, I'd have anxiety too. Just want to throw those 2 cents.
Yeah, right, exactly. I feel that
this has been going on before that.
Let me ask you, I think that your husband actually is sensing all this turmoil, but he's also having some health issues as well. Yes or no, please?
Yes.
Okay, honey, his blood pressure to me and his cholesterol is just off the hook. He's eating incorrectly. He's eating too much salt. And I'm getting there's a little bit of a, and it might not be now, but it's happening to where he's got a little bit of a blockage like his father had or his grandfather had. He looks just like the man, whoever it is. He needs to go get checked, and he needs his diet changed, please.
Okay, thank you.
Wow, what a reading.
And he also has lower stomach issues, and that means he has acid sitting. So I don't know if he's drinking a lot of Gatorade or coffee or soda.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. You're right on.
Okay, so he needs to stop, baby. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. God bless you. Just burn. Don't get the bundle of sage. It's an Indian sage. It's white sage. Don't get the bundle because the bundle to me is for negative. You don't have negative in your house. You have.
Oh, thank God! I thought I did. I had bad dreams.
A lot of people don't understand. Your fears are manifesting, giving you the okay to create something that's not there. Not everything is evil. Okay, so no, you don't have evil there. I don't see anything negative. You have.
Thank you.
You just have a lot of energy there. Just burn some white sage, get some peppermint, and put it in the house, and then keep everything, the curtains and everything open. All right,
man, great reading.
I thought it was my brother coming in trying to just mess with me.
Well, I see your brother, but your brother's more worried about a kid, a boy.
My son.
All right.
Okay.
Man.
Who follows him?
Man, oh man, oh man. Well, thanks a ton for the call, and hopefully that reading helped.
Thank you.
And
it did. I'm a huge fan, Lorie. Thank you.
Good. Lorie's the real deal.
Thank you very much.
So Lorie, you're legit apparently. No, I'm just kidding. I knew that all the time.
Well, okay. Now you see, Lorie.
I don't know.
Let me back up.
No, I'm not a skeptic actually at all.
Let me back up for a second now, Lorie. He's teasing me is what he's doing is because I've been doing this radio show, like I said, for a decade, and I've had everybody on it. You know what I'm saying? And when you did what you did to me on the break, nothing bad, folks, not like that. That answered a lot of questions for me. And so a lot of respect to you. And that being said, we have another caller already ready to go for you, if you don't mind, Lorie.
Hot dog, go for it.
Hello, caller. Who are you?
Hi, it's Caroline.
And what's your question?
So, I just want to know. Hi, Lorie. Greg made me call.
Hold on. Let me read you without you even asking, honey. One, you are so stuck and walking in the walls. Yes or no, please?
Am I walking in the wall or looking at a wall?
No, honey. To me, I feel that you feel like you're stuck. I feel a lot of anxiety in the middle part of the chest. I feel like you're carrying the world on your shoulders. I feel like you're ready to fly, but you don't know which way to go. Yes or no, please?
Yes.
Okay. All right, hold on. You also have some issues on my right, your left arm. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Do you have some health issues? Just yes or no, don't tell me.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't lie to me because I can see this. You've got above the belly button, you've got a little bit of a hernia or something going on around the stomach and the sternum area. You also have a little bit. Can I ask you how old you are? Not to be rude. I just wanted. Let me see if I can see. Because to me, you have a very young soul. That means that you died very young when you were old, in your past lives. So in this life, you're probably between. I want to say. Hold on. 47 to 54. How old are you?
41.
Okay. Right, hold on. Right. All right, so you've been actually you've been suffering for a while, yes? You're giving me a 4 and a 2, 6 years. Has things been going on in your life for 6 years? Just yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right, so go ahead and ask your question because you're all over the place, honey. You're all over. You're most definitely dreaming some wild stuff. I see you tossing and turning. If I'm at the end of your bed, you're on the right side of the bed. If I'm in the bed, I'm on the left. Is that correct?
No.
You're all over the bed, honey. I can see you on the left. Well, my right. It's my right, your left.
Yeah, I'm at a desk, but...
No. When you're in bed asleep, what side are you on?
I usually sleep on my right.
So if you're at the end of the bed, it would be on the right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I said. So if you're in the bed, you would be on the left. Okay, all right. You're tossing. So go ahead and ask your question, please.
So I was just wondering what you see in the field for my intuitive gifts that I should really tune into.
Okay, say it again.
I pick up a lot of energy. So I pick up tons of energy all the time. So I'm wondering what my intuitive gifts are.
You're most okay. Hold on. You're fixated on intuitive. It's and not being rude. I'm very blunt. I don't mean to be rude or anything like that. But you're very stubborn, like your dad, and very fixated, like your mom. So what you have to fixate yourself and educate yourself on a sensitive empath before you're an intuitive to understand the balance of it. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. You're a sensitive empath, honey, and what's happening is you're picking up all these spirits, animals. If you walk outside, you're stomping your toe. It's because you're something is trying to get your attention, and you're taking it upon yourself that you're taking your husband in a bad mood, your children in a bad mood, your cousin in the next 3-4 states over, they're not doing well. You're taking it upon yourself to take responsibility for it. You're becoming it. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You need to learn to relax. You need to learn to shield. You need to ground. You're not grounded at all. I see your soul. Well, basically you're floating. So you're almost becoming a puppet. So you have to start, leave the intuitive alone. Just leave it alone. Because that's gut instinct. Everybody has it. Fixate yourself and educate yourself on an empath. You're a sensitive empath, and you're picking up everybody's energy and taking it upon yourself to take being responsible. When you understand that, then you need to understand that you're also a healer. And it's not for people, it's animals. This is the reason why animals, and you've always been drawn to animals. You're also earth, ground. You're the dirt. You're part, earth, wind, and fire. You're earth. Trees, You love trees. When you look at a tree, do you not feel like, oh my God, I feel so relaxed?
It's relaxing, sure.
Okay, so when you're like you're doing now, you make me feel like I'm in a knot. So when you're getting that way and you feel that way, go sit and hug a tree or sit beside a tree and release that energy within that ground. Do you understand that? Let it take the responsibility of it.
All right.
And you most definitely have a sinus infection going on right now because you're giving me a headache in the middle of my forehead, right above the nose. You have an infection coming. And let's see, your left ear is a little bit clogged as well. You also need your eyes checked because from what you're living, I live it to tell the story. So it'd be my right, your left eye needs to be checked again. You have astigmatism or something going on.
Yeah, actually, my eye was all bloody this morning. I just barely touched it, and it was my left eye.
Okay. Go have that checked, honey, because it's getting really bad with the pressure behind your eyes. And have yourself checked for glaucoma. Okay, it runs in your family on your mom's side.
I really hate to move this along. Are you done, Lorie? By chance?
I'm good.
Okay, just making sure we have another caller coming up right behind her. Just want to make sure everyone's all good and we can move her along.
Thank you. All
right.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much.
Anyone, if you don't mind, anyone can get a hold of me through my email at psychic, LORIEJ at AOL.com, or they can visit me on my website at www.psychic.LORIEJohnson.com.
And we'll make sure that that's up on all of our social channels too, so people can get a hold of you.
Absolutely. Hello, caller. Who are you, and what's your question for the incomparable Lorie Johnson?
My name is Denise, and I'd like to know if Lorie sees any health issues with me.
You have a little bit of a curvature of the spine to me. Between the shoulder blades itself, it's a little bit curved to me. Is that correct? Do you have a little bit of a hump while you stand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hold on for a minute. You also have a mother-grandmother figure that you look exactly like, but she's a little bit bigger in the body-wise. She has dark hair, but it turns like a salt and pepper color, but still dark, if that makes sense.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You need to ask her to move a little bit away from you because she's getting to be where she's at your neck because she's a woolly wart to you. You're her baby. She still wants to knit you some yellow booties. So you need to ask her, just to move back a little bit. That way your energy and her energy is not combined because you're picking her up. Do you understand that? Not being rude or anything, but she was a little bit of a hypochondriac. So if somebody sneezes, oh my God, I've got a cold, honey, she's too close to you and you're becoming her. You understand that?
Yes, Lorie dear, I do.
Okay.
How about Daddy?
I'm sorry, who?
Daddy.
Okay. Your daddy's behind you, and he's hilarious, and you're ho, 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 ho. You know, he's making fun.
Do you have any idea who this is? Ma'am?
Denise?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's hilarious. No, I did not know it was you because your voice is so different right now.
You guys know each other?
Yeah, we know. She's one of my students. I love her. She's my best friend.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, there we go.
Uh-huh.
She's my best friend.
Ah, I see.
No,
I
did not. You know what? I knew your eyes were familiar, but I'm not here to judge or to point you out. But I knew it was you. But you have a little bit of you have a little bit of thyroid going on, and in my right, your left side of your back and your lung, it's got a little bit of fluid on it. Stop smoking or stop being around the smoking.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
What about my chest?
Let me see. You have a very severe bronchitis, bad. Your esophagus also. Are you still smoking?
One could say I started again within the last month.
I was going to say because I can still see you going outside and going around the house on the right. So you can't lie to me. It's burning. It's burning the esophagus area of the chest area. Stop smoking, Mama. I'm serious. Don't make me come down to PA and kick your butt.
Hey, this is the only show where you get physical threats from your mediums.
Yep. And now I'm interested in the show.
She's my best friend. I love her to death, but I haven't heard from her because she's taking care of her mama.
Well, it was great that you called in, and Lorie, as always, right on the money. And thanks so much for calling in. And hopefully your mom gets better. By the way, for taking care of your mom. We'll keep her in our prayers as well. So
love you, Mama.
Love you too, sweetie.
Thank you so much for calling in.
So I have a question based on the last the caller before, Caroline, and you talked about grounding. Do you have any advice for people to ground themselves?
It depends on if you find yourself very hyper, you're part water. You've got to always level yourself. There's four. There's earth, wind, fire, and then there is, I call it wind. No, wait a minute.
That's a great rock band, Earth, Wind, and Fire, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I love them too. I'm just about as old as you, huh? So anyway, be quiet.
No one's as old as Joel, by the way.
So if you find yourself hyper and it's not who you are, go step in water, go take a shower, go get in the tub, and find yourself still, and then feel yourself peeling away the energy that's surrounding you. It's suffocating you. That means could be your loved ones or your dad. There's one of the callers is their father passed away with a heart attack. He's waiting in line, by the way. The gentleman is basically very depressed. It's because of, when you become depressed, it means that there's somebody on the other side trying to get your attention. You know what? Stop holding on to things. You've got a life. Go live it. You're not responsible for anything or anyone but yourself. Love and just be who you're supposed to be.
Well, Lorie,
it depends on the particular person.
I got a quick question. Is one of the callers was talking about her home, of course. Who's haunting her home? How often do you get those calls where people go, "Who's in my house?"
All the time. All the time. I'm remote reviewing all the time.
Okay, because I live in a really old home, 1898.
But in your home it would be more if I'm facing, because your house to me is a little bit like the front door is away from the main road, if that makes sense. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's on a side street. Yep.
Okay, so it would be your house is more active on the right side if you're coming in the front door.
Yep.
On the right side.
Yep.
So let me see who's there. You have a lot of old stuff in there hanging, correct?
We do, yeah. I inherited. Well, I won't go into detail. Never mind. But yes, correct.
Okay. Well, I see something on the wall and it looks wood to me, or like the grain of it. It looks wood to me, like a cherry wood, or it's brown. Whatever it is, it's brown.
Mm-hmm.
And that has an attachment of an old man.
Oh, interesting. And
he keeps popping his head out. If you're looking at it up at the top right, he's popping his head out right there in the corner of it.
You know, you would think, though, being attached, just to segue into another question quick while you're doing this, you would think that if you're attached to something, you get bored of being around and no one sees you. I would anyway. I'd start messing with people.
Well, you gotta remember, there's a lot of earthbound, and there's also souls that are stuck. The ones that are stuck are the older ones, where they had so much superstition, where they feel that they're holding themselves accountable for just the silliest things, and they're afraid to go to the light. I mean, I've sent so many to the light because they don't think they're worthy. They hold themselves accountable. And if the ones that have passed that were drunk and hurt their children, and you know what I'm talking about, in a way, they put themselves in purgatory, and then when their child gets becoming the age that where they started it at, they come out of their purgatory is what I find, and they want forgiveness. And the only way that they can get a forgiveness is no matter if their child passed, their child has a child. So they go through that child to get forgiveness.
Yeah.
So, you know, it doesn't matter how old. I mean, I deal with military men. I've gone to Gettysburg the very first time, and it was a while ago. And it's a beautiful place. I love Gettysburg. So as soon as I got to the military area before you get to the bridge and you're driving through this real long stretch, all of a sudden I'm getting out of the car and I've got this 17, 19-year-old thin, I'm talking about thin male, coming to me, sir. And he drops to his knees and he says, please, shoot me in my head, please. And I'm like, why do you want me to shoot you in your head? We're starving to death. And I didn't educate myself on the history, but then I asked another person, why would this young male, he's starving, you could see the bones in his jaw, his neck. And they said there was a rationing where they couldn't get food in and they ran out of canned goods.
Wow.
And he said, shoot me. I mean, it's like I'm living.
Yeah.
And I told him, I grabbed a hold of his hand and I lifted him up and I said, look, I said, you were passed over. And I told him the year, and I said, you know what? Look at yourself as a hero because I'm alive.
Yeah.
And he said, are you sure? And I said, of course, I'm sure.
Okay.
I mean, I get so emotional and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love my gift.
But how do you shut it off? How do you shut it off and go to bed at night so people aren't constantly coming at you going, hey, Lorie, wake up, I'm here. How do you stop that?
They do it all the time, but I do. You've got to always remember that you're in charge. You're the boss applesauce, and that I always say the bathroom, because I have weirdo spirits coming in my bathroom, and I'm like, no. And I tell them, and I bless it with the blood of Christ, and I say, look, this is my sanctuary. You want me to help you? Get your little butt on the other side of that door and leave me be until I'm ready. And I cannot go to your loved ones because I don't do that. You have to send your loved ones to me.
It's funny.
Same as my bedroom. I have to run a fan since the day I was old enough to run a fan so I can drown out their voices.
Well, it's funny because I have a 3-year-old daughter, and I will hear her laugh at the top of her lungs at bedtime, of course. It's dark. She's just giggling away. I'll go in there and say, what's so funny? What's the joke? Oh, he's so fun. I swear to God, she's communicating with people. And
she is.
It's
She's
the
got,
age.
Right now, yeah, but after, if it's the little boy with the sandy brown hair, I've got to ask you.
Holy crap! Wait! How did you know that? No, I'm not even kidding, folks.
I can see. Listen to me. I can see everything. Did your wife? No, actually, hold on. Let me follow you. No, it's your wife. Your wife lost a child before her, correct?
Thank God, no. So you might be picking up maybe one of her.
Hold on. No. Listen to me. No. Hold on. Let me follow the boy. What I do is everybody has a biblical cord between a mother and a child.
Sure.
But you also have a biblical cord that I follow through your lives. And at what certain, you were 17 years old, and I'm going to give everybody some TMI. So if I'm wrong, I'm not. But you were 17 years old, a young girl that was probably about 6 months younger than you, had a miscarriage.
You're right. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
That is your son, honey, and your daughter's talking to him.
Okay. That
You get me
would
now?
be, yep, I do, and of course, I was gonna save my reading for after the break, because I'm always the guinea pig. So I will have my legitimate question after the break, and of course, there's some email questions as well rolling in here. So don't go anywhere, Greg. Why don't you take us out of here, man?
We're going to be right back in a little bit. You're listening to After Hours AM, Deeper Cuts, and we're going to be back with Lorie Johnson. We're going to be talking more about all sorts of readings and Ghosts of Shepherdstown. We'll be back in a couple.
You're listening to After Hours AM Deeper Cuts.
Cutting deep into what skews.
This is Jen McGowan, founder of Wayward Souls Promotions, a company dedicated to helping individuals, teams, radio shows, and others that are seeking exposure for their individual events, conventions, and shows. We offer a wide variety of advertising, such as web-based article, social media posts, podcast advertisement, and so on. Contact us at paranormalpromotion@gmail.com, visit us on Facebook at Wayward Souls Promotions, and visit our website at www.waywardsoulspromotions.com.
In 1999, The Exorcist was voted the scariest movie of all time.
Your daughter doesn't say she's a demon. She says she's the devil himself.
Entertainment Weekly calls it the most viscerally harrowing movie ever made.
That thing upstairs isn't my daughter.
The most electrifying movie of the 20th century is now coming back to theaters.
Where's Reagan?
In here with us.
Author William Peter Blatty and director William Friedkin have created an expanded, thrilling new version of The Exorcist with footage that has never been seen before.
She needs a priest.
Don't miss The Exorcist in the version you've never seen. Possessing theaters everywhere. Rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent.
You're listening to After Hours AM Deeper Cuts.
Cutting deep into what skews.
And welcome back to After Hours AM Deeper Cuts. My name is Greg Bakken. We have Joel Sturgis with us, and we are talking to Lorie Johnson, who has been doing nothing but getting a lot of things right, including over the break that someone came to you to tell you that I dyed my hair blonde at some point, which is absolutely true.
Everyone loved glam rock back in the day, man. Don't worry. It was the time. It was during the glam rock phase. I'm sure.
I'm going to call you a pretty boy.
I was and still am a pretty boy. And it's just Joel is jealous, and I get it. I mean, if you could see him now, you'd be jealous, I get it. But
yeah, but Joel's got beautiful eyes, so that's his thing, And I
I've
also
always
see him
said that.
wanting the guitar and the drums. So,
who has the beautiful eyes? Greg does.
No, you do.
Oh,
and
I
I've
do.
always said that
Oh, I
about
know.
you.
I've always given the puppy dog eyes, like.
Yeah.
Especially when I was single, I was like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?"
His eyes melt ice, so it's
all right. Let's not get that bad, Greg. All right. Let's not lie to the poor people. All right.
So here we are. We're in the final half hour. This has been probably the fastest show that I've been on, to be honest, so far since joining the show, because this has been so incredible, so amazing. And now, since we don't have any callers yet, and we do want to remind you, you can call in at 612-326-6874 for your one-question reading. And, once again, just give your name and ask your question, but do not leave.
Don't even give a name. It doesn't matter. I still read you.
All right.
Breaking news, do not give your name.
Do not give your name. We don't care who you are anymore. Take that.
You're part of this George Orwellian state. We don't want to know your name. So here we go. Okay. As teased prior to the break, Joel has his question.
I'm often the guinea pig, and I don't mind that. In fact, I adore everybody that has ability. Everyone has ability, I admit to them, to their face. I'm not one of these people that goes, oh, okay, I'm not going to admit she has ability. I have to say, Lorie, you are the real deal. We've had a few on the show that were not, and we have actually called them to task. But you, ma'am, are legitimate. You were saying things that no one else can know. My question is, I'm going to ask a hard one. Where am I going in life?
I didn't hear one word you said. Somebody's talking over you.
Oh, well, where, ma'am, am I going in life?
Let's see.
And hopefully it's not to jail.
No, it's not going to jail. You're too nice.
I'm too.
I see firefighting with you around you, a lot around you. But that's not where you're going. Let me see. You're most definitely a good guy, but you track a lot of breaking. You get your heart broken a lot.
I do. I'm a sucker for getting my heart broken.
It depends. I can take that anywhere. You have to be a little bit more detailed with what you want to do. Because
okay. Tell me where the radio is going. Where this show. I mean, we're already doing great. Business. Oh, what? Say again, ma'am. I'm sorry. I was talking over you.
No, actually, I talk over you. You're going to have your own business, but the thing is, it's location, and the partnership. You have a lot of problems with trusting a lot of people.
I do.
And when you trust them, you always wind up getting hit in the back of your shoulder.
I do. I've had a lot of knives in my back over the years in radio.
A lot, especially the ones that you called brothers.
Yes.
But I do see that you will have it. It'll be downstairs in a brick building that's on a corner. And I think you already know what I'm talking about.
I do. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You're going to have your own radio show. The thing is that you have to don't get like hyper in what you want to do. You say, you know what, this is what I want to get done. I'm going to help you like you're going to help me. You see what I'm saying? So you're offering a mutual thing. Yeah. So you're giving that energy to what you truly want to do.
Sure. Hey, that makes perfect sense, man. It really does.
You had a buddy that died on a motorcycle?
I do.
Okay, he's here. Yeah. He's in front of me.
Yep, we are very close. And
okay, you can say hi to him because he says, you know what, I've got your ass. He's laughing, but he says, I've got your ass.
Well, that brought a tear to my eye, and I've been joking. It was one of my best friends from school, and we were both motorcycle drivers, and I wasn't with him that day, and he hit a deer, and he passed away, and even to this day, it really bothers me, but I'm glad he's doing okay.
He says, I'm okay, but you need to be okay. You need to stop holding yourself accountable. There's nothing you could have did.
Well,
nothing.
I know.
He said, it was my time. You need to loosen up. And he wants to say some really, really hard words. I'm not going to go there.
That would be him. But, we have a caller now, and I don't want to detract from our caller's time. We have a caller. Caller, what is your question for Lorie Johnson?
Hi. I have been developing my psychic and intuitive abilities for the last year. But this last few months, there's been some stuff come up. And I feel like I'm hitting a wall in a lot of areas of my life.
Hold on, baby. Hold on. The thing is that you're holding yourself accountable for something, and it's a woman that passed over. You're feeling guilty about something. You've got to remember, I see that your heart chakra is a little bit clouded. Your throat chakra is a little bit clouded. You feel like people are stepping on you, and you're not getting the recognition that you should. But the thing is, you don't expect something that you know you want. You know it, and you wait for it to come, and then it comes faster. Do you understand that? You're most definitely...
definitely the throat chakra thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, but the throat chakra, the heart chakra. Yeah, your throat chakra. Your third eye is a little clouded. You're around another female that. You're around another female. It's taller with the darker hair. It's got dark roots and blonde highlights to almost the middle of her hair and down. It's almost in the middle of her back. She's got really wild hair, like thick hair to me. Big eyes. They're dark.
Nobody's coming to mind right now, but there might be.
Okay. Whoever she is that you've been trying to follow, you're being fooled. So you have to be very careful with that, okay? Let me see what's going on. You're most definitely a medium. You most definitely channel. You like to draw. I could see you drawing as well. Little stick figures, but you actually did pretty good when you were in
Yeah, I doodle.
Okay. I'm actually following to find out where you need to be. I'm actually a mentor. I'm mentoring a lot of people. I do groups on Skype. I do classes on Facebook. I have a class there. Get a hold of me on my Facebook, and we can talk about that if you like.
Okay.
Most definitely you have some guilt. Is it your mom?
See, I don't know. Like, I feel, honestly, like I have released and, like, let go of, I've had so many perspective changes this last year. And I'm not sure where this block is. I feel like it's affecting every aspect of my life right now, but I can't figure out what exactly it is. Like,
okay,
is it subconscious?
Honey, okay, but listen to me, honey. You're wanting to hear something. You're on the wrong track. Do you understand that? You're in right now a karmic, and it's got to do with your mother. Do you understand that? I don't want to put somebody's laundry out in public, but
yeah.
So there is a tie between you and your mom. And when we have guilt, everybody has a Pandora box in the back of their brain where there is guilt that holds in whatever you're denying to see. I can see it. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I just don't, that's another area that I've released. I've released a lot of that. And so, again, I just am not sure, I guess, what I should be looking for to fix or to heal, like what it is that I just feel like, almost like somebody's I'm having all these emotions, like somebody's planning something inside of me, but my brain is oblivious to it. Like there's something going on behind the scenes. Does that make sense?
All right.
And it's just like I feel like a big confusion lately, a heavy confusion about what's going on.
Baby girl, listen to me. Okay. Baby, listen to me, honey. What you're denying is exactly what's in front of you. Do you understand that? You're fixated on something that has been told to you, and now you're fixating it. You're in an awakening right now. Do you understand that? So your awakening is overcrowding you, and it's clouding you. Your third eye is clouded, your throat's clouded, your heart's clouded. Do you understand that? You have upper back issues. You've got lower back issues. You've got a pulled sciatic nerve and almost in the middle of the buttock area, but it's more on my right, your left side. The thing is, our ailments come from our guilt, because when we're awakening and we're denying to see what we're supposed to be seeing, our soul shakes our bodies up and says, look, you need to pay attention. Stop over-talking. Stop assuming and listen. And not being rude, but you're very sophisticated like your dad, but very bossy and very over-talking with like your mom. And that's not disrespectful, but it's for you to be able to understand that you're not listening. You see what I'm saying? You're wanting it your way, but it's not our way all the time. So if you come to me, there's a reason why we're drawn to each other. We're in the same pack. We're in the same family. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, you're more gifted than you're thinking, but you're so in a hurry that you want it your way. We cannot have it our way. We've got to do step by step. Does it happen in one day? Absolutely does not, because are you going to sit there and listen and, oh, my God, you're white? You know what I mean? So I had to learn on my own to even, I'm a redhead with green eyes. I'm a hyper little you-know-what. So it took me a long time to hush my mouth and listen to my spirit guide. Your spirit guide, you've got Gabrielle, you've got a grandfather, you've got a father figure on the other side that could be an uncle, another grandfather. You have an older woman. a very old lady with silver hair. And she points at your mom. So you have a lot of guides, but you have to always remember, you're where they want to be. So you have to say, you know what, guys? I sense that you're here, but you're giving me ADHD attitude. So move back, come one at a time, and help me. So what you do is you get a pencil, you get paper. Pencil's close to the mother's earth. When you're writing, whatever comes to you, and it's not supposed to make sense, because most of the time it's not even about you. You're just the channeler. You're a messenger. You write it down that's coming through, and you're releasing. Do you understand that?
Sure.
You need to release, baby, because your anxiety in your chest makes me want to have a heart attack, and it's choking my throat.
I really hate to butt in. We got another caller coming in, so if you guys would wrap it up really quick. I hate to be the bossy one over here. Get it done! No, I'm just kidding, of course, but hopefully that reading really helped you, and Lorie, you really gave some great insight.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks
Just
a ton.
contact me, honey, and we can talk a little bit more better.
Thanks a ton for calling in.
Thank you.
God bless you, baby girl.
Hello, caller. Do you have a question for Lorie?
I sure do. Hi, Lorie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I just have a question about if I'm following the right path for my career is what I'm kind of looking for.
Say it again.
If I'm following the right path for my career, what my career path might look like in the near future.
Okay, I see you in a uniform, like a nurse's uniform or assistant type of uniform. Can I ask you what you're doing, please? Because I see a lot of papers in your arm. It would be my right, your left arm. I see you working with a lot of people. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I see you're doing that for a couple more years, but I see actually you're going to be moving soon. I don't know if you're contemplating that, but I do see that you're going to be moving, and you're actually going to start your own business, but you have some credits missing. I don't know what the credits are. It's not my business to know, but you have some credits to do. Try to do some homeschooling to finish that off, even though you have a lot of hectic chaos around you. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it sure does.
Okay. You're doing really good, even though there's a couple people that are actually you want to strangle right now. Just try to keep your distance from them.
I know that feeling.
All right.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. Thank you.
You're very welcome. God bless you, honey.
Thanks again for calling in, and hopefully that really helped out.
Yep, it did. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. I mean, really, we've had a lot of great call-ins, and the night's not over. I mean, you still got a few minutes left if you want to get in on the party. The number is 612-326-6874. Again, 612-326-6874. Give us a call over here so you can get your own reading from the incomparable Lorie Johnson. And you might even know her better from the show, The Ghosts of Shepherdstown. But tonight, man, it's all about Lorie, and wow, I got to say, it has been something else talking with you. I've never had the opportunity to speak with you, and you have really impressed me and my audience and Greg and everybody. So, Lorie,
thank you.
When did you get this gift, though? That's my question to you. I mean, we should have asked at the top of the show, but when did you get this? I mean, how did it develop?
Well, like I said, I was born gifted. I knew I was gifted. Since I was 2, I've had an older male that followed me, made sure that I didn't get hurt. And it took my dad 30 years, when I was 30, to show me a picture of his father. And I cried. I said, Daddy, that's the man that I kept telling you that was following me. And every time I would say, Daddy, there's a man right there. And my father was a boxer. He fought Cassius Clay. So, he was a big man, big muscular man.
Yeah.
And he would go down there chasing, and there was nobody there. Well, it was my grandfather, and he was 100% Cherokee Indian. Like I said, he was a shaman. He knew when his brother died. The next day, he woke up and his hair was white. He had pitch black hair, and it was beautiful. It was white. He told my father's mom, was white, Lawrence is dead. And she said, oh, George, be quiet. 15 minutes later, they get a phone call. Lawrence is dead. So, yeah. My grandfather, my father's father was a shaman healer. My father was a shaman. He denied it. We were very biblical. He was very Southern Baptist and then Baptist. We believed that, he believed stuff like that was not to be talked about. My mom is very gifted. She's 74 years old. She still lives. She lives in Arizona. She denies it. She doesn't want it. And a year after my father passed, I said, Mom, I see all these people just swarming around you, and they're crying. And she goes, and she didn't even act like it was like, oh my God, what are you talking about? No. Yeah. She said, what do they look like? And I said, well, you have an Uncle Frank there. She starts crying. I said, you got Grandpappy there. That's her father. You have Daddy there. You've got Katie, my niece that passed. You have everybody. And she started crying. She goes, Lorie, I knew you were gifted. And I said, okay, so what am I supposed to do with this? You didn't teach me that it was right. And she goes, I've been seeing them all my entire life. I've been hearing them, and I don't want to hear them. I don't want it. She said, you can have it. I don't want it. And I knew, I mean, not to be rude or anything, but I knew that I never fitted in. Yeah. I didn't feel like I was even belonged. I mean, 10 kids, and I'm the only redhead with green eyes. Come on now. No man or what?
It's interesting because I've heard from many people who I've spoken to who are, they're mediums. They have a lot of gifts and stuff too. They always say the same thing, that they never really fit in. Is that kind of a calling card in some way? I mean, does that happen?
Yeah. No, on my fitted in means a couple years, about 10 years ago, I did a reading on a lady, and I'm not going to say her name. Actually, it was a little bit longer than 10 years ago, and I did a distant reading on her, a past regression type of thing on her. And I'm looking, and I'm doing this reading, and I said, all of a sudden, my spirit guides jumped me off of her, put me in my tube of life, and showed me that she was supposed to have me. She had an abortion that year, and I was drawn to my father through my mother.
Okay.
I believe that's what I believe. I believe that we were supposed to belong to another person, and we were drawn, and something happened, and we were drawn to another. Just like your child is gifted. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So your child that I said that lost, he's gonna come back, or he's already came back. So they're gifted. I believe that when a woman loses a child, and it's not because of them, it's because the angel of the child, the soul, is not ready to be born. But it will find its way back through.
Let me tell you a strange story that happened to me with my little girl. We were downstairs, and my dad is no longer with us, and
I know I see him behind you.
She met him, but she was too young to remember him. One morning, we came downstairs for breakfast, and I said to Alexandra, is her name, I said, Alex, you sure laughed in your room last night. You must have had a funny dream. She says, no, it wasn't that funny. That guy, and she pointed right up to his picture, he kept talking to me last night, and he just wanted to make sure everything was fine. That was my father's picture. Let me tell you, it floored me, like, what? And she went into detail on his personality and everything else. It wasn't, just really went into detail. And wow, it was one of those moments of drop the fork because we're at dinner going, what's wrong with you, child?
No,
I mean? Are you playing a joke here?
I do have to let you know about your daughter. You take her to SeaWorld or something. She's a healer for animals. Mm-hmm. All animals will be drawn to her, including butterflies on her finger.
Interesting. That in fact, animals love her. They all love her. But it's one of those moments that, and I've talked to other people saying, well, they're so young, they don't have that filter yet to what is possible, what isn't, and they're just open books. And she may lose that as she grows up.
She's a beautiful light. I call them earth angels. She has a beautiful protected light. And she is very much protected by Archangel Michael. So she will get her knees scraped because she's very tomboyish.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
She's very, very much, very much of a light. She's an archangel. But when you take her around any animal like a turtle or the SeaWorld, start taking pictures around her, and you'll start seeing little lights or orbs around her, and that would be her angel.
Very interesting. Very cool.
What about loved ones who have passed who appear in dreams? Is there any sort of idea of like when you might know that they really are coming to you in a dream versus your memory just having a dream about them? Is that something that you just feel deep within yourself, like you will know what it is based on what your heart's saying?
Well, if they come to you in your dream, it depends on if you just fall asleep and you're half asleep, but you're still kind of awake. That would be your angel.
Okay.
Your angel comes and makes sure that you're okay. And then when you're in your sleep between 2:30, 2:20, I say with you about 2:11. 2:11 is your angel number. And then 4:40, your loved ones are going to start coming through. So that way, everybody has a guardian. Everybody has a guardian. So that way, you're protected even in your sleep because, we're more acceptant in our sleep than we are awake.
Mm-hmm.
But always remember, just because they say, "Oh my God, you're going to be careful," someone's going to drown, doesn't mean they're going to drown. It just means that you're going to get head over your head, or you're going to get over your head with work. You're drowning in work. So you have to be. I'm an extreme interpreter.
Yeah,
as well.
Greg.
You've got to be very careful in how you interpret that dream.
Right. It can't be literal. It doesn't always mean it's literal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I know this guy that's a workaholic. Like every time I talk to him, he's working. Sometimes he even broadcasts some work. Sometimes I worry about him drowning at work.
Yeah. You and me both. So it's good to be active, right? Sometimes it's nice to be active, and
it's good to be active, but you also have to find time for yourself with your family, so that way your family is fulfilled with the positive energy of understanding it's okay to live.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You have to find that peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean about loved ones coming to talk to you in your sleep. My dad's always bothering me. It's like, come on, man, I'm trying to get in this dream over here, and you're bothering me.
Yeah, but I think your dad is kind of like, he believes in everything that you're doing. And he had a lot of guilt when you were younger, that he was very hard on you. He said he was a hard butt.
Yes, he was.
And I know, I could see your past. And what he couldn't do to explain why he was like that is because he believed in you. He believes in you. And everything that he wanted to do, you're doing it. And he's very proud to know that. But the thing is that you're limiting yourself.
Sure.
So if you really want to manifest your thoughts of saying, you know what, I'm doing this, it's going to get done. Okay, guys, help me out. And don't stress about it.
Yeah.
You stress yourself very bad, and I can hear you snapping a little bit.
I am. That's my nervous tick.
I know. So when you're getting that nervous tick, it means that you're being driven too hard. You're driving yourself too hard. You're expecting yourself. Stop expecting yourself. Because if you're expecting yourself, you're going to foul up, or you're going to deny yourself seeing what it's supposed to be seen. Now, you are going to have your own business. Your father's behind you. I'm also getting that there's a tuition or I don't know what it is. It's a type of a bond or a lecture. I don't know what it is. He's showing me that there is money out there that you have. Yeah. He says you just have to get your P's and Q's together.
Yeah, he used to say poop in a group. Got to get your poop in a group.
Eloquent,
but right to the point. You know what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, she's from Texas. Lorie's from Texas. She gets hard men. She understands it. See, I once upon lived in Texas myself, and there's some tough, stern people down that way. So I can totally relate.
Well, I was raised in Texas. I'm in Maryland, where I was born, where my father rests. I was in Shepherdstown for a year, and then I moved in Martinsburg, about maybe 20 minutes away from Shepherdstown. The reason why I moved away from Shepherdstown, it wasn't because of the production, because that was one of the proudest things I think I've ever chose in my life, because I was very shy. I was very, if you knew me 10 years ago or 20 years ago, you was like, oh my God, that is not Lorie Johnson I know. You know, I was very shy. I was very afraid to speak up. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be afraid anymore. I'm very to myself, I love music. I love being around people. I say I love being around humans. So who knows? I'm probably an alien.
Well, you know, it's awesome. It's awesome you change your mind because it's a great show and you're a great person. And I'm very pleased to have met you. But unfortunately, we're at the end of another show, Greg. We're done, man. So why don't you take us out of here?
Well, Lorie, we just want to thank you for being on the show, and we're hoping to have you back soon. That would be awesome. I hope you can do that.
I'm honored. Thank you very much.
And we're going to be back next Tuesday. Don't forget to join in tomorrow for After Hours Criminal Code, True Crimes with Clarissa, Joel, and Eric. Have fun.